Yo, what's going on everyone? Guiding Light here, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys one of the best builds that you can run here on Bunny. Now, with this build, not only will you be able to use unlimited abilities so that they will literally never run out, but you will also be able to do extremely good damage with those abilities, and you'll also be able to take extremely large damage. Now, when running Bunny, sometimes she can be one of the hardest characters to use because of how easy it is to go down. Sometimes even in boss fights, you'll notice you'll get one hit by a lot of the enemies, or you'll take them in the missions and you can do just fine clearing out enemies, but you just won't have what it takes to stay alive. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you guys the best ways that you can actually stay alive with this character, the best mods to run. I'm going to go into this mission on 150% difficulty to show you guys that this build does help quite a bit. Now, not only will we be able to take damage, but we're going to be able to do outgoing damage as well, and we're never going to run out of our abilities. So you'll be able to get through these missions without even firing your weapon in extreme cases. Now, I'm not even really going to fire my weapon too much. I'm just going to show you guys how good this build is. Now, it's already pretty good given the fact with all the electricity going out around you that the enemies won't really be able to get near you as it is. But given the off chance that they do, or you're just in a really, really high intense area with lots of enemies, I'm going to show you guys that this build will help you to stay alive, but also to take the enemies out at the same time. So normally when running Bunny, you're going to want to use this ability, which sends out all these electric blasts. However, sometimes with certain builds, you'll notice that it runs out pretty quickly. Now with this build, it will last longer than the actual cooldown for the ability, so it lasts infinitely. As you can see there, the ability still will run for a good 2 to 3 seconds after the ability is ready to go again. The only thing is you have to make sure that you're moving in order for the ability to actually proc. So if you're just standing still, it's not going to activate. So now that we've gotten the damage portion out of the way, you guys can see that I'm having absolutely no problem taking out enemies with this build. I've got infinite abilities as well. Now let's actually take some damage and see just how much we can take with this class as well. So I'm going to skip to the end of this mission where the actual boss is. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is a 150% difficulty, so that means that these enemies are doing bonus damage, and my stats are actually reduced as well. Now, normally this boss would one-hit just about any character, especially with the 150% boost. But as you will be able to see, even with this build on, we're able to take him out without even firing our weapon. And if for whatever reason he does end up hitting us or the enemies get too crazy, we're not going to take very much damage at all from the attack. Now, normally this attack would just one-hit you. It does take you down pretty low, but given the fact that you're on Bunny, you're still going to have the ability to run away extremely fast, and that you're almost never going to take any damage. There should be plenty of health packs on the ground for you at this point. Now, this is just one example. I'm going to take him into one of the Void Intercept battles as well and show you just how good it is at surviving those as well, because to be honest, that's where Bunny, I think, struggles the most, is staying alive in these Intercept battles. So very quickly, we're going to load up the Swamp Walker on hard. Now, normally this is an extremely hard boss for any character because the toxic attacks can be extremely annoying. The toxic blast, the machine gun attacks, they're pretty ruthless, and a lot of times they'll end up hitting you. If they don't one hit you, the residue will damage you over time, and a lot of times you'll end up going down really, really fast. I've seen it happen way too many times. So I'm going to show you guys that with this build, not only will you be able to survive the toxic residue, but you'll be able to actually live and survive throughout these intercept battles as well once you put on these mods and run this build. Now, another great thing about this build is that it doesn't take that many crystallization catalysts. You know, you can get any character extremely strong once you slot in like 7, 8, 9 catalysts. But for this build, I think I've only slotted in 2 catalysts, which makes it something you can actually get pretty early on, because I know a lot of people have gotten money pretty early. So we'll start up this fight. You'll notice I'm not really taking too much damage as it is. We can activate our attacks if we want to take down the boss, but this is going to strictly be a test of me taking damage. So I'm not really trying to do too much damage to the boss itself. But as you can see, I'm going to stand in the fire, take damage. Top of that, I'm going to stand in this toxic pool and then take multiple missiles from the boss and still be able to live no problem. So I'm going to purposely allow the boss to deal damage to me more and show you guys that this build is actually pretty great for taking damage. Now, normally this is the biggest problem with Bunny, so I definitely am going to show you guys every mod that you can put on, make sure that you can actually survive these attacks, and you won't become such a problem for some of your teammates. So if we bring open the stats, you'll see here that the cooldown for this ability is 27.4 seconds, but the duration is 30 seconds. So we have an extra 3 seconds every time this ability is active, and we're never going to run out of it. That's the best part about this build, is that you can remain with the infinite abilities, but you're actually going to get a lot of defense out of it as well. So very quickly, let's take a look at all of the mods that you will need in order to run this class. Now, keep in mind, this is actually not the final build. It will be able to get even stronger than this. However, at the state that it's at right now, I haven't had any problems clearing out any missions or staying alive. So keep in mind, this can get stronger. There's different customizations. There's always going to be infinite changes that you can make with all the different options for mods. But I'm going to show you guys exactly what I have right now at this stage of the game. And from here, you'll be able to make it stronger. But this is just where I'm at right now. Now, keep in mind, you may not even need all the stats that I have. I have my skill radius or my ability radius all the way max. You could actually tune this back a little bit and get even more health out of it if that's something you want. This is just what I chose to run. It's a pretty solid balance of things that I found pretty useful for Bunny and for the missions that I'm running. But you could just use this as a foundation to create your own builds. You could reslot some of these points around. You could put different catalysts in different places, and you could use these adjustments of mods to actually create a build of your own. But if you just want to copy mine, this will help you get through just about anything. You're going to have infinite mana, infinite abilities. You're going to be able to tank damage as well. And so it's definitely a good class. But if you want to make it even stronger, you want to get even more damage resistance, you can very easily do that. Just take back the skill radius. You don't really need it to spread out that far. And then you can put it into even more health or even more skill power if that's something you want. So overall, I'm extremely happy with this bunny build because I don't have to go and spend a lot of catalysts. I don't have to go and get it all the way up to like tier 10 or something in order to make it really, really good in every single mission in the game. So now with this build, I'm able to clear just about any boss, any survival mission. And keep in mind, this is just me playing as a solo. If you have multiple bunnies on your team or a couple friends, even running other classes, other weapons, then you're going to be able to tear through just about any mission. It's almost gotten to the point where I purposely only run bunny when I'm trying to speedrun activities, or I just know that I'm going to have to do the same activity 10, 15 times, because you know that you can get through it so quickly with all these different builds, and the fact that you can just do so much AoE damage, run so quickly, and things like that. So it's great to have this character or this build made, so that way anytime you have to do something super repetitive, or if there's a mission you don't want to run through, you're having trouble, maybe you don't have friends online that can help you get through it, you'll always know that you can rely on this bunny build to take you through just about any mission. Now, it's not exactly the most fun to do missions like this, I don't think, because it gets to a point where you can do so much damage through the walls. You're basically just a running lawnmower at this point for damage. And so it can get a little boring, and there's definitely other classes I think that are a little more skillful, and I definitely enjoy running other classes a lot more. But I think that this bunny build is something that everyone should have and will essentially need at some point or another to just get through some missions that maybe they're stuck on. Now, another great thing about Bunny is that if you're ever going up against a boss solo or even with a team in hard mode, you can use her abilities to take out a lot of these immunity phases. You'll notice that a lot of these bosses, they go into these immunity phases and you have to be super accurate, and these things take so much damage to get their immunity phases down. Now with the Bunny ability, which will literally never run out, you can actually use this to just take out the shields in a matter of seconds, making all these fights, all these missions take way less time. So like I said, guys, it's the best build to go and farm for if all you want to do is run through missions quickly, but there's definitely better builds out there, I think, in terms of enjoying the game overall. This is just the best survivability build for Bunny at the moment. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.